Hey, what's going on YouTube? This is Daniel Rucker with True Table. I'm broadcasting today from my mobile office, but I wanted to tap in with you guys today because I wanted to talk about a subject that I feel is both beneficial for males and females, and that is characteristics of a good man. Now, this is definitely a opinion-based subjective type of topic, but I feel that as I continue to converse, navigate this particular space, whether that's in my personal life, it's in my professional life, it's in spaces that are social, a lot of things I'm still starting to realize that are not being talked about in the raw nature that is necessary. Now, if anybody has been paying attention to the last week or two of, celebrity news and things of that nature, I'm pretty sure everyone has heard about Mr. Derrick Jaxn. I'm grateful for Mr. Derrick Jaxn. I'm going to tell you why. Because Derrick Jaxn is what motivated me to get back on YouTube and start to speak my truth. Because I had encountered someone who actually sent his content to me some time ago, and I was willing to hear the brother out because it's like, okay, it's another brother, let me see what kind of information he has to spread. I listened to a total of 5 of his videos, and I couldn't. I was disgusted with the nonsense that was coming out of his mouth. But this is not a Derrick Jaxn bashing episode. I'm just using him as a point of reference to segue into what I want to talk about. But he is relevant because, see, he gave you women's a lot of the information that you wanted. He gave you women's a lot of content that was more palatable to your desired ear, your emotions. And I've always said, to any females I was talking to or any friends of mine that we socialize that, we men don't talk like that. Like, I used to watch Tyler Perry movies, and I used to hear some of the consistency that would come out in the males that were communicating with these women, like, I'll pray for you more than I'll pray for myself. Like, that crap, men don't talk like that. And it's interesting because I kept getting backlash from all of my friends, associates, and so on, that were females, obviously, that would be like, no, that's not true. I'm like, I'm a guy. Like, I've been going to a barbershop since I was 5 years old. I was in the military. I played sports. Like, I'm telling you how men communicate, ladies. And you men need to start speaking up a lot more. Because the problem is that a lot of women are not used to hearing raw truth. They're not used to hearing raw perspective, our opinion, without some type of sugar-coated, candy-coated, rainbow at the end of it type of delivery. And we don't talk like that. So I wanted to talk about it today and give you guys some key things to look out for. And one of them, mainly, is that, ladies, if your man is not willing to hurt your feelings, you don't need to be with him. Yeah, I said it, and I'm gonna stand by it because it's the truth. A man that cares about you is not gonna be afraid of telling you how he sees things. Unbiased, without restraint, without conviction. Because one thing that I can definitely sign up for as far as a consistent trait of a quality man is a quality man stands by his principles. A quality man stands by his beliefs. And if his beliefs is hardwired into his psyche and the way he looks at things, then when he's presented with certain questions, certain scenarios, certain type of exchanges with you that are contrary to what he believes is a standard, he's gonna speak on it. And he's not gonna speak on it like, babe, I was just thinking. Sometimes it's gonna be straight up, like, you know what? Don't do that. Or I don't like that. Or you need to grow up. You're too old to be acting like a child. You're too old to be acting in the manner that you're acting. What the heck is wrong with you? And sometimes it's just like that. Now, I know that the world has convinced women that us men care about how you feel. I'm here to tell you, We really don't. Our internals of how we move. Where was I? Oh yeah. Yeah. So we don't. Your feelings, no. To a man, your feelings are not of the utmost priority of importance when it comes to our thought process, ladies. Sorry to tell you, but it's the truth. And more guys need to be very forward about this thought process, because what's continuing to happen is that it's causing confusion amongst the communication of the sexes, and it shouldn't be that way. In an advanced society that we have, it should be very easy to understand very basic concepts. So I hold partially women accountable. I hold men partially accountable, because we are the ones who need to convey these thoughts and convey this outlook. A part of our job is to communicate effectively. And in that communication, it's also being able to convey what is the dominant thought process, or even the plan behind something. Sometimes I feel that men are afraid to speak their mind on something because they're not so welcoming to the response that the woman may have. But guess what? That's a part of it. And ladies, you have to start to get very used to and accustomed to the fact that when a man is speaking to you, you got to learn how to hear him and not feel him. Any man that's worth his value, any man that's worth his salt, is gonna have a very solid, honest, direct approach, which leads me to my next point. If a man is not able to speak to you and not be afraid of hurting your feelings, well, then I don't believe that he's ever able to truly mature in a way that allows him to show up in a relationship as his whole self. What do you mean, Daniel? I mean, communication is relational too. That it's one party's responsibility to be able to convey thoughts, utilize points, metaphors, references in order to convey their outlook on something, their perspective on something. It is the party on the receiving end to be able to create an environment that is safe for the communication. I've heard over the years women get upset about the fact that men lie. And all people lie. People lie. Women and men lie. But they'll be like, men are never honest. And I have always felt that men are more honest than women. In my personal experience, as well as my own nature and self, my observation has been quite the contrary. And the reason why I think that is such a common term utilized in this space is that what's really happening is that in the times that men are honest, they are crucified in their honesty. What do you mean by that? I mean that they're met with a lot of negative pushback, negative feedback. If a man stands on any level of a platform or forum and speaks his truth that is contrary to what the females think is the truth, then they're coming for him. Calling him all kinds of names, like, talking about his sexuality or sexual orientation, how weak he is, and all this representation of negative, feedback. And it's quite interesting because that in itself is what creates a dynamic of someone being willing to be honest with you. And, ladies, you want a man to continue to tell you how he sees things. If you value his opinion, then learn to listen, and not active listen. Active listening where every couple words he has to say, you have a response. No, shut up and let him finish, and then have a dialogue about it. I have seen this be a very effective method in creating stronger relationships, stronger lines of communication. And quite frankly, that's how it should be. So, yeah. Men, you guys need to get to a point to where you're okay with the fight. Sometimes your truth, sometimes your thought process, sometimes your standard is going to require a little bit of uneasy exchanges with the opposite sex. Your opinion may not be popular. That's okay. But you got to stand by what you believe. And you have to be consistent in it. Don't waver just because there's a little bit of hostility, just because she gets an attitude. It shouldn't matter that she gets an attitude. Not more than what you know to be the truth. Not more than what you know to be solid, to be consistent. And if it's coming from a place of love, which is what I've always encouraged any of my female, friends and associates and those different people, you gotta listen to what he's trying to say or what he's saying. And is it something that's contrary to your progress? Is this something that's gonna put you in harm's way? Because if it's coming from a place of love, ladies, then I would encourage you to give it a little bit more attention. At the end of the day, your feelings matter to you, not so much to us. And if you got a man in your life that you consider to be quality, solid, and all of those things, I would bank on the fact that what he has to say is more for your benefit than even his benefit. So I want to touch on that today. Give you guys just, some food for thought before you go into your weekend. Go ahead and hit that like button. Go ahead and subscribe. As I continue to bring this content to you guys, you can find me on Instagram at true_table. I'll be coming to you guys next week with another video, some more content to give you, these thoughts, this fire. But thank you for hanging out with me. For those who chose to tune in, I gladly appreciate it. I'm gonna go ahead and get back to this driving and continue on the rest of my day. You guys have a blessed one, and I'm out. Thank you.